I've been looking through these old newspapers and documents about European imperialism, especially in Africa. And it all started with this thing called the Berlin Conference. The Berlin Conference, also known as the Congo Conference, was organized by Otto von Bismarck. The point of this meeting was to regulate trade and colonization between European powers in Africa. In other words, Europe was figuring out how to carve up Africa to take for themselves. Now, in hindsight, it's obvious, but how exactly were the Europeans able to dominate such a large population so far away from their home? Well, the main reason is industrialization and industrial technology. The effects of industrialization is well known, but the new technology that came from the industrialization periods were able to fuel this more colonialism and imperialism across Africa by the Europeans. And they gave the Europeans a need for more raw materials, which is another motivation for them to go and imperialize Africa. And this gave the Europeans such a major advantage over the African citizens. The Europeans had little trouble, for the most part, taking away the land of the native Africans. And the scientific racism they used to justify all these cruel things that they would do to these Africans is despicable. But the natives aren't the only people that these Europeans had conflicts with. They had conflicts with themselves. Despite the Berlin Conference having all these superpowers come to an agreement, not all tensions were resolved. Check this out. I found this old recording from an undisclosed source. And this one collection I found was very interesting from this very old reporter.
Here we are in Fashoda, Sudan with British General Hayden.
Hi, nice to meet you.
So as we all know, there's some tension building up in this area. So what's the situation, General?
Well, British forces and French forces have been pulling into the area. We are trying to assert our dominance in the area, but the French are trying to do the same.
I see. So our viewers are worried about war breaking out. What's your stance on this, General?
No, I don't want war, and I doubt the French want war either. But my hope is just the French back down, we can continue laying down rail lines and just controlling the area as we should.
Okay, you mentioned the territory. Is this rightfully British territory, or or have you trespassed into French territory already?
All land that we see fit to control is ours by right of the British Parliament.
All right. So it seems that it is our territory, and the French are encroaching.
Yes.
In your perspective, of course.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, General. I hope to see you again.
Yep.
War never did break out, and France backed down, and both sides agreed to recognize each other's colonial territory and agreed to the Entente Cordiale. More about that from our historian Rick, whom I locked in my basement to do this video.
The Entente Cordiale was a list of agreements acknowledged by the two major powers, the British and French. It concluded the Fashoda crisis and greatly improved Anglo-French relations, contributing to the creation of the Triple Entente between the British, French, and Russians in the early 20th century. The agreements included many compromises. Most of them solved territorial disputes within Northern Africa, leading to profitable exploitation of the land and the locals. The second Moroccan crisis began when the German gunboat Panther was moored near Agadir on July 1st of 1911.
Now let's talk about the Moroccan crisis. There were two of them, in fact, and I want to focus on the second one because I've found some more archives of old interviews, and this one is of the old French captain. Let's check it out.
Here in Morocco today, I am speaking with Captain Augustin Zane of the French Army. Nice to meet you, sir.
I'd like to be here.
Yes. So, Captain, I understand that France and Germany are once again clashing here in Morocco. What are your thoughts on this?
Okay, yes. Well, my legion, among other legions, was sent here to put down a small uprising in the capital, the city, to save for some local rights. This was a this was a request from Iraq's, or what you call Morocco Sultan, and as captain of the French military, I will honorably defend our country's colonies.
So this is a rebellion, essentially.
Yes, it is some sort of rebellion. There was also this Allemand, you call Germany, right?
Yes.
German foreign minister here for some sort of diplomatic reasons, but it wasn't really that much. That's all that's happened here so far.
Okay, I see. You mentioned the Germans. I understand there was previous tensions between these two countries. Would you care to elaborate on
Yes, that the Tangier incident from a few years ago, right?
Yes.
I was stationed in Algiers or Algeria at the time, but I did hear that the emperor was there in Iraq, and it said something about the independence of Morocco from our country, but it didn't really work out. But I was moved to Iraq shortly afterwards, so it must have been pretty serious.
Okay, that's interesting. Let's hope that war doesn't break out. Thank you for your time, sir.
Merci.
War never began, as the Germans and French were able to come up with a diplomatic agreement. These new industrial powers were itching for conflict anywhere they could find it, and it's easy to see why World War I broke out, as any of these conflicts could have easily caused World War I.
We will be back after this message. It is 1898 in China. Empress Cixi's response to the spread of European imperialism and Japanese influence in China is with violence. She sponsors the Society of Righteous and Harmonious Fists, attacks on churches in Peking. This group was also known as the Boxers, dubbing this event the Boxer Rebellion.
In the end, the Europeans and other imperial powers won over the Boxer Rebellion and massacred a number of Boxers in the process, forcing China to back down to these imperial powers. Thank you so much for watching our documentary. If you can, please support us, preferably with a good grade. Thank you, Mr. McCormick. See ya!